Anyways, diving right in. Sorry, Splatoon. I already saw this. I saw it like as soon as it was uploaded, and I saw it as soon as it was put onto the Nintendo Today app. Nintendo was showing off a new Splatoon game. First, by the way, I want to mention first of all, there's the Nintendo showing off a new Splatoon game, update to Splatoon. And actually, that's it, isn't it? Just an update, Switch 2 version, which is not really a Switch 2 version. It's just an update for Switch 2 and along with Switch 1, along with a new game. But something to note here, I think someone brought this up in a video somewhere, I don't know who. There's a good chance that maybe Nintendo did intend to have a Direct this week. You know, and maybe one reason or other, maybe they decided not to. We'll have to see. But the fact that they put this out now implies to me, it just due to the fact that, well, this update is happening like 2 days from now. Like, this isn't happening soon. This is like, this is happening very soon. God, what was with me in saying the wrong thing? This is happening in like 2 days. So regardless of whether or not they had a Direct, they needed to get this announcement out there because they had this update happening like now. Presumably. I mean that's what speculation is, but maybe there are other, they might just trickle out some slow reveals through a period of time. But this is, it's not just an update, it's a new game that's being fucking announced here. Yeah, we see, wait, go back, sorry. Now that I can watch this and scroll through it on YouTube, I can like, we got a weird island with some weird statues, some weird rocks, some weird metal structures. It almost looks like an island from Breath of the Wild. The first Zelda Splatoon crossover. I can't believe it. More weird statues. More fucked up. Oh my god, we're on the island. Dude, the tree is a spiral. Sorry, we're in Uzumaki land. This is the Uzumaki tree from the ending of Uzumaki when the entire island becomes a spiral and everybody gets. Sorry, spoilers for Uzumaki if you've never read it. It's called Spiral. What do you think is going to happen? Every single chapter is about spirals. Did you not think the last chapter is going to be about a spiral in some major way? Whatever. I can't read the squid language. I don't know what any of this says. Small island in the middle of the ocean. It's circled with red, so you know it's important. But we have Deep Cut, which is, again, out of the idol groups, I feel like I don't know how Deep Cut is perceived, at least in Japan. But I generally feel like the first two are more popular than Deep Cut. And obviously there's a huge bias of, well, inherently speaking, all the other idol groups have been in more games. These guys have only been in one game. People really liked Pearl and Marina because they had a really good dynamic and they were interesting and they were unique. And a big breakaway from Marina and Callie, which were just two idols. I get them confused. I was like, I don't know which one is which. So they look relatively similar. They do have slightly different color schemes, but they look, a typical idol group. Well, Pearl and Marina were more interesting as a duo. And then Deep Cut was like, there's 3 of them now. Which means every single character in this group has a little bit less dialogue now because they have to share it between one more person. And I think because of that, it made their dialogue a little less interesting. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like they weren't as interesting. And I feel a lot of people felt that way. And it helps that all the DLC we got relating to them was pretty good. All the story stuff relating to Off the Hook was fantastic. And obviously all of the main story modes for all of the games have been related to Marina or Callie in some way. So Deep Cut maybe hasn't had much of a chance. They were slightly in the story mode for Splatoon 3. As like pseudo-villains, kind of. And they had some fun boss fights, but they weren't that relevant. Yeah, this might be their chance. So I'm glad that they're getting a chance. Because truthfully, they're fine. And I'm obviously biased because I do like Splatoon 2, and that's the one I started with. And it still has probably the best DLC because it's just pure story mode. Like the DLC for Splatoon 3 was single player, was a roguelike, and it's good. But Splatoon 2's DLC might still have the best single player mode of any of the games, just pure well-crafted single player levels. And the Splatoon 3 story mode did a better job at getting those kinds of levels, and it had like a map, it had like a hub world and stuff. But I don't think all the levels were as interesting or as good. And the aesthetic was different, of course. I don't know. Splatoon 3's story mode is comparable to the Octo expansion, but I think I like the expansion a little bit more. It's hard to say. But again, I've also said I'm a big fan. Sorry, I'm rambling now. I'm a big fan of Splatoon's single player. I always have been. I love their single player. I love the multiplayer. I played enough. Surely I played enough. But I actually think I probably might like their single player a little bit more. There's something really nice about it. It's solid. Well, honestly, I don't want to say it's like a Mario-like, but like in a sense of there's a series of very solid, well-crafted levels in 3D. Some of them are shooting, but a lot of them are like get to the end. You might come across enemies, but it's usually like go through this level. You gotta find a key or break a box or go around, but it's like a relatively linear level. You go from the start to the end, fight whatever obstacles. They're always very themed, they're awesome. You're floating in the sky with game cubes and shit. I mean, it's great. And they have some unique concepts. There's some that's like, you have to break the blocks on the right side to match the shape on the left. It's like, oh fuck, I gotta make a shape. Or everything's invisible. You have to use the ink to color stuff. You know, there's so many cool, clever things that they do with the mechanics. You play Monkey Ball. It's very fun. And again, I like single player stuff. So the prospect of Deep Cut, an idol group that maybe isn't as popular as the rest because they haven't had their chance to shine, really, it now gets their own full DLC. Not just the DLC, their own game. Their own full single-player game, which, again, it feels like every single Splatoon game has had more and more expansive single-player modes. It kind of felt like a natural evolution that eventually they were going to get their own stuff. Maybe at some point Splatoon 4 will be like a... I don't want to say it's like a Fortnite where it's like free and everyone can play it. And then they have the single-player that's paid. Because I don't think they should do that. I don't know. I kind of want Splatoon 4 to still have a single-player and a real thing. But maybe it's not a bad idea to have some kind of segment between the single-player and the multiplayer. For people who want one or the other. But yeah, so that's exciting. Even though I don't love, I still have my partial, love for Splatoon 2. I still have that, and I think a lot of people like parts of Splatoon 2 more than Splatoon 3 because they changed some stuff. Some mechanics, some designs, some weapons, and that obviously is going to turn people off. And a lot of people really, for some reason, there have been many people online are very critical of the design of the maps in Splatoon 3 comparatively to the previous games, where they feel like it doesn't do a good job the way they break it down and the way that like the pathways that they would normally give people to go around are like it's changed. The design of the levels has changed a little bit, so people feel like it's a little different. I did see your comment about Egg Watch, by the way. Don't worry, if I get the eggs, I'm sure it's not going to be that quick. I don't know. I'm sure you'll be home in time. Yeah, we go into the like. Or I saw a meme earlier of this screenshot. It was me and the boys looking in the microwave waiting for pizza rolls. Brilliant. You get Forehead 1, Forehead 2, and Big Man. The trio. But yeah, they're going to like the Sky Islands. They're going to the Bermuda Triangle. They get washed. They get sucked in. I love how it explicitly says a Splatoon spin-off. They didn't just say like it's a Splatoon game. They really want to delineate that this isn't like people might have thought Splatoon Raiders. What is that? Is that Splatoon 4? Is that Splatoon 4 basically? But they're calling it a new name now. No, it's not actually. They wanted to avoid any possible fucking confusion about what this is by saying in English a Splatoon spin-off. Splatoon 4 is coming, but we got a spin-off beforehand. First of all, for some reason, when I saw these clouds, I was like, oh my fucking god, these clouds look amazing. Water looks nice. 9 out of 10, good water. Strange, like, vehicle with, like... Is it going to be like Wind Waker shit? You might get this. I'm so excited when people play Splatoon. This looks like... Are we going to be riding around on a boat with a... Like, I'm thinking of Wind Waker, and I guess... Phantom Hourglass had, like, the grappling hook you could use to get, like, the crane arm. It's like maybe we're going to be like, this will be our hub, and we're going to be sailing from island to island, picking up shit from under the water. Something to that effect. And then, of course, we have actual island shit. We're apparently a mechanic, so we have like, what's that, like a series of hoses that spin? A tank, a pot? I don't know what they, maybe it's just extra weapons or sub-weapons or something. We look pretty cool. I love all the homemade. I love all, man. The design for weapons in this game is great. Generally, just the visual design in Splatoon, I think, is really lovely. It's so stylish and it's so nice. I just love it. Great. Yo, that squid was pogging. That grass texture, lovely. We got a robot buddy to follow us around. That maybe we can upgrade. Maybe he'll be like a mount we could use. See, I love that he's just chugging along. He almost looks like the kettles that you'd get into to go to different levels in the story modes. Maybe he's related to like levels of some kind. We don't know much more that we're going to be shooting stuff and we're going to be exploring it, presumably. I guess that's us. Maybe we were the helicopter pilot and we crashed, so they're dragging us away. No idea. Yeah, but this could get a lot of people into Splatoon just purely on the basis of this. Splatoon Raiders. And the logo looks good. But yeah, that's very exciting. And yeah, some freak shit. Splatoon has a lot of freak shit, okay? If you don't know anything about the lore of Splatoon, there's some freaky stuff in there that's just weird. You're not sure about that, dude? What, that's... It might be, I don't know, we don't know anything about the pilot, but the fact that they're dragging a pilot makes me think that that's you! And then they do the typical Splatoon, choose a character, and then you have to make your character. Like they do with all the story modes. By the way, I love they showed a trailer. Then they had someone do a voiceover on what it is, and they gave almost no new details whatsoever. But I'm doing good. Incoming.
Without further ado.
Incoming. Sorry, they always do I know. I can hear in my head because I know how it's spelled because we've seen that text before in Splatoon. It's INK. Incoming.
We're excited to share our latest findings.
We're excited to share our latest findings. What is this? It is a new game. They announced a new Splatoon game. It's a spin-off. I guess we don't know it's only single player, but I think it's easy to assume this is a single player only spin-off of Splatoon. Imagine it's actually multiplayer and we just don't know it. No, it's literally a new... Sorry, if you didn't watch this. Deep cuts there. We get trapped on an island. We got... It's literally... Again, they literally can't spell it out more fucking clearly. It's the most explicit thing. Jumping around, we got a little robot fella. Yeah. The lady will explain it.
Research lab. Without further ado, we're excited to share our latest findings.
You sound a little too excited. It's actually The Raft, the video game The Raft.
You just witnessed our signs of the first ever Splatoon spin-off game coming ashore. Splatoon Raiders.
Well, I'll miss...
You'll go on an adventure in the mysterious Spiralite Islands alongside Deep Cut.
Yeah, they've shown us almost nothing. So there could be anything. We have no idea. I mean, evidently, whatever major interesting new mechanics that they're hiding, fundamental design of what we do, we don't know. No idea. So they're keeping a lot of shit until they're going to show off a full reveal.
On the Nintendo Switch 2 system.
That's right, get it too.
Research is still underway.
I'm inclined to think it's more of just we're going to go from island to island in this little ship they gave us and do something. I do not think it is a survival craft or extraction shooter.
More on our findings.
Yeah, guys, it's Rust, actually. No, it's actually Rust.
When the results are in.
At this point, it's funny how cartoony the logo is. I almost feel like they need to get a new logo. But alongside that, though, they also were like, hey, man, you still playing Splatoon 3? I'm sorry. I've heard this song way too often. I can't... God, sorry, that squid had a throat problem that day. He had a throat infection. Yeah, we all thought Splatoon 3 was over and done with. I do love that they're launching, like, we got the rainbow weapons. It's Pride Month, and they're launching the Pride weapon set. Just a coincidence. Like, I was watching the trailers, like, oh yeah, look at that. It's like, well, fuck. Good on ya. I don't think that was intentional, but, you know. You told me to scream like that. You earned it. That's good. Escape from takoyaki. That just sounds like a good game mode in like a fucking Fall Guys kind of like mini game where they're all like in a takoyaki pan. You have to jump out of the holes and someone keeps putting you back in. Or Mario Party. Yeah, guys, they show new weapons for the.
Well.
Also, there's been 10 updates. Every numbered update is a big thing. They update, they give you new maps, they give you new weapons, they give you new shit. Like 10 updates is a lot, really, when it comes to like all the freak stuff they give you. Out of any game, you really can't complain about Splatoon's like value in terms of stuff like that, because you get DLC, but DLC is usually a story mode or a single player or some extra stuff. But you get like a lot of solid updates with a lot of shit. They're giving us 30 new weapons. That's a lot. That's a lot of weapons. That is actually like a not insignificant amount of weapons.
The Splatlands collection, which features new weapons from the Barazushi and Embers brands, is on its way. They're based on previous weapons, but have fresh new looks and, of course, different sub-weapons and specials.
And it's funny because it is not a live game. Is it a Squid Girl? It is a Squid Girl. Yeah, Squid Boy, Squid Girl. It is not a live service game. You're not continually paying for this, except for paying for Nintendo Switch Online, of course. And maybe you could consider that. That might actually be a fair thing to note down, that the longer they support this online game, the longer people are going to stay subscribed to NSL. Listen, you might have seen a lot of hentai to know where this is going, but the hentai is not usually the girl is the squid. That's a little different. But I will say alongside that, though, it is a good value. You buy this game when it launches, and you're going to get good content for years.
Total, and hope you'll try them out for yourselves.
And it's all free. For still, at least for right now, $60. But it's also, I mean, I think continually adding stuff is a good incentive to get more people. Like, I have a friend who has not played Splatoon, might want to get into Splatoon 3. So the fact that they're still getting new stuff is a good incentive to get people who even now, he owns a Switch too, might get into it just because it's still getting stuff.
In addition, weapons freshness caps will be raised.
See, it's not even just that, there's new mechanics.
And you can earn new in-game badges.
They are adding like slight new mechanics to this game.
Series weapon power, a new stat to dive into.
Minor, but like, oh yeah, now matchmaking is going to change because we're keeping track of your weapon stats, and that's going to influence things.
Per weapon based on your win-loss ratio in battles. It will also be
Yeah, what's your KD?
matchmaking to pit you against other players with similar stats. Follow the Squid Research Lab.
Again, obviously, if you've been watching me, if anyone's been watching me for a relatively recent amount of, like a reasonable amount of time, you know I've played Splatoon and I've streamed Splatoon a lot. Basically, anytime there was a Splatfest, I would be playing Splatoon that weekend, which is like once a month, maybe once a month and a half, depending. I didn't play it every week or every day, and obviously when a game came out, I did the entire story mode and I did Splatoon for a while. I like Splatoon, so it was exciting that I might jump back in for like a stream or two. And also just to see how good it looks. And how good it runs on the Switch too. There's a lot of that. Like apparently Mario Odyssey looks great. They added a mouse support to Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S. So maybe I'll play that too. I was like, for fucking some reason. Game I love, by the way. And a new map. That's right. Even now, they're adding new maps.
Don't call it a comeback.
You know what this feels like to me, though? It kind of... They're doing a new game, so it's not the same. But it almost feels like this is them, like... It's like when we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC. Like 2 years ago? What was it, like 2 years ago, maybe? That's what this feels like, where it's like, yeah, we need more time for whatever Splatoon 4 is going to be. Splatoon 3 came out pretty soon after Splatoon 2, which came out pretty soon after Splatoon 1. And now they're like, okay, we need a bit more time for Splatoon 4. We're going to make it something different. What we're going to do is just a spin-off story mode. It doesn't look like the highest. Like, it looks like it might be a slightly more budget title, a little bit. It is not pushing the limits of the Switch 2, clearly. You could see that in the Splatoon Raiders trailer. It looks like maybe on par with Splatoon 3. Probably using the Splatoon 3 engine. And then adding a new map and some new weapons. So it's almost like, yeah, we're going to continue support for Splatoon 3 a little bit longer than maybe we would have normally. We already had the Grand Fest, but we're going to keep this going so we have more time for Splatoon 4. Can we get 5 new maps? No, only 1. Although I'm curious, this is one update. This is version 10. Are they going to do more updates, or is this like
Okay,
it?
you can. Urchin Underpass from the original Splatoon game.
Oh, at this point, they have
Returns to the
most
rotation
maps,
for
I feel
some
like,
fresh
from the series.
sliding on classic turf.
Splatoon 3 has kind of become like the ultimate for Smash, but for Splatoon, it's got all the shit. It's got all the hub world small 3 games, all of the idols, got everything.
You'll notice more detailed visuals, and the game will appear smoother in certain locations, such as the square in Splatsville and the Grand Festival grounds.
Yep. So
But
better
no
frame rate,
need to fear.
maybe better
Nintendo Switch
resolution.
players and Nintendo Switch 2 players will still be
Frame
able to
rate
splat together.
improvements. Typical stuff.
This free update for Splatoon
And it's free.
3 is scheduled to release June 12th.
When is June 12th?
Stay tuned for further updates.
That's like 2 days from now. What's today? Tuesday? The squid looks shinier. I will say, if you ever, there was a very specific Splatfest that had like, there's been a couple of Splatfests with white ink, but most of them are fine. But the more they've done them, the more they look a bit more pearlescent. And when they look more pearlescent, they really do look like semen. And I'm really sorry to say that. Sorry, Splatoon, I love you, but cut it out with the white ink. And when you do, don't make it so pearly. Please. It doesn't look good. I mean, it looks fine, but it evokes some imagery that you don't want to see. Could be worse. It could be like when the people in... sorry, first of all, that's the end of it. Could be like when people were like green screening out the ink colors and putting porn behind the backgrounds. People in Japan were doing this. Live streamers were like putting porn behind their stream, but green screening out the ink. So that way they had to constantly paint in the ink. Because if they didn't, then they would get banned. Which was a genius. I don't know if that's secret genius or insane asylum shit, but regardless, we're moving on to Deltarune. Sorry, I know I was talking